get things rolling. I'm going to start the broadcast on YouTube. So allow me to do that. Here we go. Aloha shifters and light guardians, thank you so much for tuning in for another inspirational team tarot reading broadcast. My name is Mystic Spider-Man, aka Brendan Skull Babylon. Thank you so much for joining in as we start our week off here with another opportunity to be able to come together as a team, to be able to tap into the infinite wisdom of the tarot cards, of the oracle decks, to be able to see what messages the universe has for us today. So again, if you guys are tuned in on YouTube or on Twitch or on TikTok or on tarot, do me a favor, drop some 1111s in the chat. Let me know that you guys are here. And yeah, if you guys are ready for that first reading, drop an 1111 in the chat and we'll get right into this. I'll facilitate the first reading, and then from there, the way how we do this is an opportunity for you guys to be able to contribute and receive an on-air reading for yourself and for the collective. You can do that through the PayPal, you can do that through the Patreon link. Definitely encourage you guys to check out the Patreon if you haven't already yet. That's our monthly membership. When you join on the Patreon, that's where you get access to exclusive community events and lots of other perks within our team of conscious creators. So if you're looking to connect with a team of conscious creators, check out the Patreon. It's $11 a month. Think of it as an investment for yourself, and yeah, lots of other perks there. We'll talk more about those as we go. I will mention this week, one of our membership events for our Patreon members is actually a conscious creator soul party. So that's going to be like a meet and greet soul gathering for fellow conscious creators and members on the team. So if you guys are looking to be able to join in for that, definitely check out the Patreon, and yeah, you will be able to find all the info that you need there. So allow me to be able to set things up here, and let's see, what deck should we start off with today? Let's start off with the Hero's Journey deck today. We got several decks here, and again, for those of you on Instagram, do me a favor, click the link in my profile, tune in on YouTube, or for those of you on TikTok as well, click the link in my profile, tune in on YouTube, and leave some comments and some inspiration in the chat there, and we'll get things rolling right into our first reading. And let me just double check, make sure everything is set up, loud and clear, running properly. Perfect, and we are ready to go. So again, you can find me on YouTube Skull Babylon, or on Instagram Mystic Spider-Man, or on Twitch at Mystic Spider-Man Tarot. So let's get ready to drop into this first reading. If you guys are ready, drop an 1111 in the chat, just be able to let me know. And as we get rolling, again, we'll keep an eye open for any contributions coming through on the PayPal and Patreon. We're currently at 105 on Patreon, working towards our next milestone goal of 111. And thank you again to our recent Patreon supporters. Thank you to Christine, thank you to MLG, thank you to Sunny, and thank you to Candace. Super excited to be able to have you guys in on the team. And yeah, we got some awesome events coming up. We got our Conscious Creator Collaboration Circle coming up Tuesday, which is like our regular event. So again, if you're looking to connect with a team of conscious creators, check out the Patreon, find more info there. And again, the support from there goes towards myself, it goes towards Lacey, it goes towards our family, it goes towards the baby that's on the way, and it goes right back into the community since it helps facilitate the ongoing events that we do there for the team. So if you guys are ready for this first reading, we're going to be using the Hero's Journey Oracle deck. Good morning to those of you tuned in. Good morning, Infinite Gal. Good morning, Lonely Traveler. Good morning to, hey, Serena, thank you so much for joining in. Sorry, no, wait, Sierra? No, hold on. I'm going to double check that. It's Sierra. I know it's Sierra. So good morning, Sierra, and good morning to everybody else who's tuned in on all platforms. And yeah, super excited to be able to have you guys here with us today. Sierra, I was just mentioning this Thursday for our members, we actually have a Conscious Creator Soul Party. So it's going to be like a meet and greet for conscious creators where you get to hang out with the other team members. We'll be dancing, we'll be laughing, we'll be playing some jokes, maybe even doing some like trivia and things like that. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, okay, drop those 1111s if you guys are ready for this first reading. And again, for those of you on Instagram, if you guys are able to, click the link in my profile, join in on YouTube. And again, we'll keep an eye open for contributions there. So the way how this works, we'll keep doing readings throughout the broadcast for maybe at least, I don't know how long I'll be on here, at least an hour, I would say. We'll do as many readings as we can. And then if you guys want to support on PayPal or on Patreon, go ahead and sign up for that real quick. On Patreon, you can sign up for the $11 membership or more. There's perks at the 33 that I'll tell you more about later. And the PayPal, you can sign up at a pay what you wish sliding scale of $5 or more. So if you pay a little bit more on $5, then that will just pay it forward into consecutive readings that we'll do for the team. And the links for that are in the info for this video. And as I'm like literally saying this, looks like we already got perfect. We already got our first contributed contribution through PayPal. So with that said, we'll get right into our first reading. And I'm glad I'm glad that came through just as we were about to do this, because with that said, we'll facilitate it for Trinity. Trinity, thank you so much for your contribution. We'll take a moment here just to be able to confirm where Trinity is within the chat, whether they are on Instagram, TikTok, or Twitch. And Trinity, if you're tuned in, go ahead and just let us know, and let's give a nice thank you to Trinity. And yeah, Sierra, I'm looking forward to the soul party. So happened. I just saw you just met a friend named Serena. That's so funny. The reality, the matrix is folding in on itself. So all right, so Trinity Finity, if you're tuned in, that's infinite gal. I had a feeling that was infinite gal. With a name like that, I wouldn't be surprised if your other name was also Trinity Finity. So that's a dope name, by the way. All right, Infinite Gal. So the way how we do this, since you contributed, let's pick a deck. So you get to be able to choose which deck you would like to be able to use. And again, for everybody here, the way how we do this, like the readings are for anybody who's tuned in, but Trinity is going to help us facilitate this. So it's going to be like specifically relative to the intention that we're collectively setting, as well as the intention that Trinity is setting. So Trinity, first thing first, let's pick a deck that you would like to be able to work with first thing today. So we have the Hero's Journey Oracle deck. We have the Lightworker Oracle deck, the Sacred Spirit Oracle deck, or the Ananda Tarot Oracle deck. So which of those decks do you feel most called to? And then we'll get right into that first reading. And yeah, Infinite Gal, I appreciate you hanging out. I know you've been tuned in multiple times before, so thank you so much for your contributions. Feel free to direct message me on Instagram, especially if you do have any questions about the Patreon, if that's something you're interested. This week, I'm going to be doing a variety of like one-on-one calls with people who are curious about the Patreon, kind of as like an onboarding process, and just to be able to help them get connected into what it is that we're doing. There's a lot of cool things happening within the Patreon. I'm actually going to be focusing on building an upgraded membership database. So for all the members, it will be like a single database where the public can like find the different creators and their services and everything like that. I made one of those in the past, but now I'm like remaking it. So all right, so Infinite Gal, we're going to confirm which deck you would like to be able to use. Again, for those of you, we're going to do the traditional tarot. Perfect. For those of you on Instagram, go ahead and click the link in my profile to be able to tune in on YouTube there. And any contributions through PayPal, again, from here, we'll keep an eye open for them, and then we'll get right into the next readings from there. So let's get right into this first reading. Feeling a good flow today. Happy Moon Day. Happy Mercury retrograde. Like, I think we're actually back in Mercury retrograde again. Not to... I know some people are just like, no, but like, didn't we just get out of Mercury retrograde? It's okay. We're here to navigate our way through it as a team. Mercury retrograde isn't a bad thing. It's just something that gives us another opportunity to drop more into our responsibility. As I like say that with a sigh, but no, I don't mind Mercury retrograde. So Mercury Gatorade. All right, Trinity, let's get ready to do this. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. For those of you on TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, and yeah, we're all good. Okay, cool. So the way how we're going to do this, Trinity, we are going to do a quick little meditation. I believe, as far as I know, you've seen the way how we've done this before. So we'll do a quick little meditation. Within this meditation, inviting everyone who's tuned in to be able to join us in this meditation. And with this meditation, what we're going to do, we're going to drop into our heart space. Let's connect with our breath. Really just chill out for a few moments. And then from there, what we're going to do, we're going to set the intention, show us what we need to see. So Trinity, you'll be focusing on this intention. Everybody's focusing on this intention as a team. And then at that point, I'll instruct you to just take a few more breaths, listen to your intuition. And then when you're ready, at my instruction, just type now into the chat. So you listen to your intuition at that point, take a few moments, and then type now into the chat. And then when you type now, that's when we split the deck. So it's kind of like using technology to like synchronistically like pull the card and stuff. It works though. Like we've been doing it for quite a while. It still utilizes technology to be able to pull the card in a very synchronistic way. So Trinity, if that works for you, I guess I'm just going to call you Trinity for now. So just got Matrix on my mind, man. So, oh, and this, Trinity, just let me know that you're ready and we'll get into it. Quick note. This Wednesday for our Paradigm Shift Circle, which is like our voice only discussion. It's like a kind of like a Clubhouse style format. We do that Wednesdays at 4 p.m. EDT. This Wednesday's topic is this reality a simulation? Right? Is it? So for those of you who are sticking around for that, you'll be able to tune in live or afterwards, and the link will be in the Discord as well as up on YouTube and Spotify, Paradigm Shift Radio after. So just confirming that Trinity is ready, and then we'll get right into this first reading for today. And I'd love to be able to get a new Patreon sign up as we're hanging out here today as well. So for anybody who wants to be able to sign up for the Patreon, again, go ahead and check that out. And What? Like literally, as I said that, a new Patreon sign up came in. Thank you so much to Earth to Kayla. Kayla, thank you so much for your contribution on Patreon. Let me just update that real quick, and then we'll get right into the first reading for Trinity, and then we'll get right into the next reading for Kayla. So Kayla, wherever you are right now, thank you, and let us know in the chat, and we will get things set up, and we will do. This is good because we got some good momentum going on here. So we'll do 2 readings back to back, and even when we have 2 readings, like I just go as deep as my soul tells me to go, so it doesn't mean we're gonna rush through them by any means. So if you guys are able to stick around for a bit, then yes, you'll definitely get some wisdom out of this. So, all right, let's give a nice thank you to Kayla, and let's focus in on this first reading. Trinity is ready, so for everybody here, we'll focus on the first reading, and then Kayla will get coordinated with you as we go. So, Trinity, for everybody here, when you're ready, go ahead and just allow yourself to join us in this meditation. So here we go. For everybody here, just go ahead and gently close your eyes. Soft, gentle inhales. Soft, gentle exhales. It's allowing yourself to connect with your breath. And as you breathe here, just softening your body. Just allowing yourself to arrive into your heart space. Maybe this is like the first time that you've just taken like a mindful breath today. So really just giving yourself the gift of this moment. As you breathe here, just being in this heart space. Take this opportunity to reflect on gratitude. Gratitude for yourself, for this space, for this super awesome community, for the messages that we are here to receive. And so for Trinity, for everybody tuned in right now, with gratitude in our heart, let us collectively focus our attention on the intention. Show us what we need to see. We being the individual, the collective, and the team. Show us what we need to see. And so with that intention in our heart, let us speak it with our mind, with our heart, with our soul, with our words. Continuing to focus on this intention, and all of us, you can just kind of visualize it like this beautiful beam of light just kind of like shining up from wherever we are right now, shining up into the heavens and bringing down the wisdom of the stars through the message and the symbols of this card for all of those who are tuned in. So as you continue to focus on this intention, show us what we need to see. Trinity, take a few moments here, listening to your breath, listening to your intuition. Take your time. And when you are ready, open your eyes and type now in the chat. For everybody else, you can gently open your eyes now, keep your focus on this intention, and feel free to type your wizard noises into the chat just for fun. And I'll charge the deck and we'll split it here. So here we go. And here we are on another marvelous day as we start the week with new ways to play. For what treasures shall this opportunity hold as we continue to work towards that infinite goal? To soften our heart and to open our mind, to awaken the Creator so that we can find the truth of who we have always been, the dream awakening to itself from here until infinity. And so, with a gentle gaze and an open heart, let's continue to awaken to the power of our art. Thank you, Sierra, for those wizard noises. I'm glad you guys are getting the wizard noises in there. And so just breathing here with the softness of our breath as we wait for the moment to pull our card, which will reveal to us how to live our ultimate best. Our ultimate best. Mega best. Trinity just taking her time here, totally fine, listening to that intuition, everybody just holding space for it, waiting for that exact moment when we see it in the card, in the chats. Here it comes any moment now. Keep putting those wizard noises in. You guys are doing great. There, now, there it is. I like when we like pull the card, I just imagine this like kind of like shockwave of like reality goes and like anybody's reaching like, oh, I felt that card get pulled. So oh shit, this is a good card to be able to start off with. This is a dope card to be able to start off with. So the first card that we have pulled for this morning, for this week, what a great card to be able to pull at the start of the week, and you'll find out why. The first card that we have pulled with Trinity, who contributed on PayPal, and for everybody else who is tuned in right now, is card number 8. Justice. Card number 8. Justice. I am justice. That's what Batman says in the new trailer. He's like, I am vengeance or something. But I feel like he's basically saying, I am justice. All right, let's open it up here. Again, for those of you tuned in right now, good morning. Thank you so much for being here. Robert, thank you for joining in. Happy to be able to have you here. It's cool because we got multiple people here who are also tarot readers. So again, the conscious creators within the team, I'm doing some upgrades on the Discord. I really want to be able to lean in towards helping support you guys in your tarot broadcast. So if you guys are tarot broadcasters, leave a comment in the chat. Just be like, do you guys broadcast tarot? If so, be like, me. And then everybody else go connect with those people. All right, let's focus in on this card here. Trinity, thank you again. And Kayla, can you just let us know where you are in the chat just so I can see ahead of time? So I know, and then Kayla will do that next reading for you. If you guys want to share this broadcast with your friends, even feel free to like screenshot what we're doing here and be like, go listen to that guy with the glasses, Mystic Spider-Man. Peter, is that you? So, okay, all right. Card number 8, Justice. And for everybody here, again, for those of you on TikTok or Instagram, now is a good time to join on my YouTube. Click the link in my profile because I'm like talking to the YouTube camera right now. So if you want to see what we're talking about, go to YouTube right now if you can. So, but I'll show it to both you guys. All right, card number 8, Justice. So let's take a moment here to just kind of like break down the visual image here. This one's actually quite complex. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful image here. A lot going on. Obviously with Justice, you can see there's the whole symbolism of the scales, the kind of like Libra-esque scales. And you can see this kind of etheric, higher dimensional being. And it's hard to see even just on the camera. But there's like a set of eyes kind of like looking down. So there's like a face behind the being, and these like structures of maybe it's like society, but these kind of like pillars, these beautiful mountains in the background, and this landscape down below. A lot of symbolism there. There's like some spheres. There's actually a sphere that's like half skull. It's kind of hard to see there just with the size of the camera. And got some like beautiful like purple mandala kind of coming out. Again, I'm just explaining it literally, and some like beautiful lens flares going on. I love the, man, I will tell you, since I have been in grade 9, I have been a big fan of lens flares. Did anybody else use Photoshop back in the day and they're just like, how can I make this image better? I know, I'll add lens flares. And then you just like add lens flares and you're just like, perfect, like lens flares. So I feel like that's a nice lens flare there. I know a good lens flare when I see one. All right, glad you guys are having fun. Let's keep diving deep here. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna read from the book, and then from there I'll channel some additional inspiration from my heart to yours. You guys have tuned in. This message is for you. Trinity, thank you again. And Kayla, wherever you are right now, please go ahead and let us know. Kayla might not even be tuned in right now. They might have coincidentally just signed up outside of this broadcast. But Kayla, if you are here, let us know. Either way, we'll go into the next reading. All right, here we go. For everybody here, if you're tuned in, this message is for you. Drop an 1111 if anything we say resonates. And yeah, allow yourself to just kind of receive this message. So, card number 8. Justice. The image. With its head in the heaven and its feet on the ground, the figure of a mysterious being rules over earthly events. A scale hovers in front of the being as a symbol for natural balance. Meaning, with the image of Justice, we step into the level of existence at the beginning of the major arcana's second sequence of 7. While Jupiter represents the principle of mercy before right, Saturn sticks with the principle of justice without mercy. On one side of the scale is the law of karma, the immovable law of cause and effect. On the other side of the scale is the law of love, the gentle law of trust and forgiveness. In Buddhist realms, the law of karma is presented in a very transparent manner. Bound in the play of nature's powers in the world of duality, man who has recognized himself as a creature of polarity has the possibility of consciously influencing the world of opposites. Therefore, he not only has to accept responsibility for his own actions, but also for the world in which he moves. I'll just reread that last part. Bound in the play of nature's powers in the world of duality, man who has recognized himself as a creature of polarity has a possibility of consciously influencing the world of opposites. Therefore, he not only has to accept responsibility for his own actions, but also for the world in which he moves. In the first stage of the level of creation, we learned with the magician, as above, so below. And in this level of existence, we learn as within, so without. For the image of justice, this means we will be judged by the same way we judge. Again, if anything I say resonates, drop an 1111 in the chat. I know this one's like kind of wordy, but don't worry, we'll break it down once we get through it. Again, for the image of justice, this means we will be judged in the same way we judge. Perceiving the law of karma on one side of the law of love, on the other side of the scale, results in the recognition of as within, so without. The way in which we perceive our physical body in the material world is also the way in which our soul perceives ethereal body in the ethereal world. As a body, we are separate within the world of bodies. However, as a soul, we are connected to the life force of the divine. Therefore, we are able to stretch our perceptions beyond the boundaries of our own being. Every pain and every joy of other beings becomes our own pain or joy. As a soul, we no longer act out of duty, but out of compassion. Reread that part. As a soul, we no longer act out of duty, but out of compassion. Whether or not man follows the path of right action, he will reap the fruits of his deeds accordingly. Oh, that's powerful. Reread that. Whether or not man follows the path of right action, he will reap the fruits of his deeds accordingly. Every action that is taken because of a sense of duty always has a motive. Love has no motives. Love is enough in itself. If we act out of love, we will no longer need interminably long law books or the 10 Commandments, not even one commandment. In order to take the next step and do justice to God, the world, and oneself, we are challenged to make our decisions from a higher level of consciousness. At the level of the magician, magic tools were given to us in the form of the sword, the cup, the sphere, and the flame as the symbols of the 4 elements. At the present level, for us to continue on our way, it is necessary to have both sides of the scale as a symbol for higher level of discrimination. Astrological significance: Jupiter, Saturn, Libra. Keywords: discriminatory ability, sense of justice, forgiveness, release of feelings of guilt, restoring natural balance, mercy before right, acting out of compassion, sincerity. Traditional meaning: letting go of judgments, balance, virtue, weighing and balancing, submitting to a higher order, equal rights. All right, let's dive a little bit deeper here. Thank you again to everyone tuned in. For those of you on TikTok and Instagram, I would encourage you guys to jump over to YouTube. The audio is better and the video is better. Click the link in my profile to do that now. So, all right. So at this point, I'm just going to channel into my own heart wisdom to be able to bring forth a little bit deeper message based on what it is that we've read here from the book. So the book was just kind of a stepping stone. So let's really talk deep and let's really just dive into the relevance of this card, especially here and now. So this is a very, very powerful card for us to be able to receive, especially at the start of the week. You know, this really kind of like hits home the work that needs to be done. And so with this card, it really reminds us that we in ourselves are carriers of justice. Justice is not necessarily something that we can always depend on from an external circumstance, because everybody's going to be acting and seeing things from their own personal motives, and that isn't necessarily something that we can always control. However, what we can control is the way that we react and respond to the world around us. And so with this card, it's really inviting us to be able to reflect on how we move about the world, how we relate to the feelings that we carry, how we relate to our relationships with others, and obviously calling us into a deeper place of compassion. And again, with this card, it's just kind of giving us the opportunity to be able to reflect. Are you doing something from a place of love, or are you doing something from a sense of duty? And if you're doing something from a sense of duty, sometimes that sense of duty may not even necessarily be your own. It may be something that has been imposed on you. However, right now, this world, it really needs us to be able to serve justice from an act of love, opposed to an ulterior motive. And we're seeing that a lot in the world right now. There's a lot of kind of like shifting of justice right now. And I think what's also happening is that people are finding creative ways to be able to embody justice in new forms. we have this idea that, you know, justice is something that can only be kind of like brought down through like an institution, or it's something that it shows up in the form of like power and authority. However, justice in itself isn't necessarily something where it's always about being able to do, you know, it's not about just like punishment to those that have done wrong. Justice is also about being able to lift those up who need to be helped. For those who have perhaps been on the opposite side of justice, that in some ways have left them wounded, our justice in terms of being able to help bring about a better balance to this world can oftentimes be an act of healing, can be an act of sincerity. So when we see that there is an act of injustice, what do we do? For example, if you see someone who is like starving on the street, you would look at that and just be like, there's a lack of justice here. Like this person, you know, like for regardless of their circumstance, they're, you know, perhaps in some way, on some perspective, they're reaping what they've sowed. But at the same time, you know, this is a card that really invites us to be able to heal the past by moving into the future with a deeper level of compassion. And so in that case, you know, like if that person is like living on the street, how can you help create a balance there? You might be able to create a balance by interacting with them in a loving and kind way, by being able to see them as yourself, by being able to really be able to serve them from a place of the heart, opposed to just being able to say like, oh, they got what they deserve. If you look at the world right now, a lot of times like people, they're actually afraid to be able to serve justice from a place of the heart. They've kind of been conditioned to only care about themselves. If they see something that is, you know, something that may be an imbalance, oftentimes we've been conditioned to ignore it. We've been conditioned to just basically say like, oh, somebody else will deal with that. That's somebody else's responsibility. Some greater authority should probably take care of that, but it's not my responsibility because I don't want to get involved with it. I got other things to do. I got my own motives. However, when we allow ourselves to really begin to shift our consciousness to that higher level of consciousness, again, this is something that's challenging us, because it's actually challenging us to be able to remove old paradigms, to break through old illusions, and to really begin to act from these higher places of helping someone, because you're seeing them from that vision of nature. You're seeing it from the vision of balance. You're seeing it from the vision of love. You're seeing it from the vision of Buddha. You're seeing it from the perspective of God or whatever, where everyone in this circumstance is, again, you know, like the child and your siblings and your brothers and your sisters, opposed to this person that you just see as like completely separate from you. And of course, you know, relatively speaking, you do want to be able to, you know, not necessarily put yourself in a situation where you yourself may be put in unnecessary danger. But when it's relative, you know, like this is an opportunity for each of us to really begin to look at those around us and to be able to reflect and just think, you know, like, is there injustice being done? And if so, what can I do to be able to help bring balance to it? And bringing balance to it can serve in a variety of ways. Sometimes creating, you know, bringing about justice can be an act of using your voice. It can be an act of silence at the same time. You know, like there's big rallies and protests right now where people are helping to be able to create justice in this world by literally using silence. It was interesting. I was reading about this in Russia, and not even so much to kind of like bring in politics and stuff here, but this was an interesting act of justice where there's a whole like vaccine mandates in Russia, and I'm not 100% sure on how true this is, but I read it, but it was just interesting. There was a big thing that happened in Russia where they were starting to roll out the vaccine mandates, and basically they ended up scrapping it because like everyone like collectively in society basically protested against it by not going to any business that had the vaccine mandate passports. Therefore, those businesses were like, this is worse off than when we just had like, you know, like earlier protocols. And so it was like that inaction, that like sometimes justice comes from choosing not to participate in something that is unjust, so to speak. So that's actually a form of justice, is you know, like justice can actually be choosing to remove yourself from the participation in something that is unjust. You know, it's kind of like a circumstance where, you know, you look at like what's happening if it was like back in the day, and like, you know, maybe some bullies were like picking on a kid and stuff, and you were just kind of like going along with it because maybe you were friends with the bullies but you didn't fully agree with it, you know, like what kind of happens there. But at the same time, you have a choice. You have a choice to either be able to like speak your voice, to be able to remove yourself from the situation, to be able to bring the attention to someone that can use their authority to be able to help resolve this. But at the same time, you know, I just want to be able to remind ourselves that justice takes forms in many different ways. Justice is not always this thing that shows up within our life that is something that we create through, you know, like authority, and something that we create through, you know, force. Justice can actually arise through softness. Justice comes from a place within our heart where we can foresee the vision of what balance looks like and feels like, and we can actually embody it first and foremost. And then once we really start to embody that resonance, we bring that resonance with us out into the world, and it creates like this collective resonance where justice naturally arrives through the balance of the individual. So it kind of goes back to this idea that if you want to be able to create peace within the world, you have to create peace within yourself. And yes, there are going to be times where, you know, like you have to be able to stand up for your rights and everything like that. But, you know, love in itself takes many different forms. Love in itself takes, you know, action. It also takes stillness. It takes protecting yourself. It takes preparing yourself. So in this card, you know, this is a card that really invites us to be able to look at the world and just be able to reflect on where things may be in this reality that we feel are unjust. And I think even within our heart, we actually have the wisdom of justice inside of ourselves. So, you know, when something is just, it's balanced. There's like equalness, there's balance, there is harmony. And so when we move through this reality, oftentimes things will move from chaos to harmony to chaos to harmony. However, in those states of chaos, those chaos are actually kind of like a frequency, like in a cymatic board that's moving from an octave from chaos to harmony. So chaos in itself leads to harmony, because oftentimes, you know, we'll go through this and we'll experience this. And you guys tell me, you know, 1111 in the chat if this resonates, where sometimes we have to go through something that we don't want in order to be able to experience what we do want. And that's actually what's happening in the collective scale right now. We're actually purging. We're actually like removing an old system that doesn't really work anymore. It's kind of gone through its life cycle, and now we're ready to be able to move into something new. And that something new exists within us. It exists within the wisdom and the knowledge of the heart that intuitively knows what justice is. It intuitively knows what balance is, what natural balance is. And again, injustice in itself is something that also is very important to be able to carry forgiveness alongside with as well. Because if you're constantly, you know, like blaming the past, it's going to be hard to be able to move into a future of justice. You want to be able to hold the past accountable and use that as a stepping stone to be able to create the solutions of the future. The problems within the problems is the solution. Like oftentimes, you know, you look at it just like, oh man, like we are destroying our planet right now. And yet within that wisdom is the solution to being able to resolve how to find a different way. So this is a card that really invites us to really be able to embody the scales of justice inside of us. And by that, I mean embody harmony inside of us, embody a higher perspective, embody a way to be able to see things from that top down, where we really start to dissolve the social illusions of separation, and we really start to begin to see a deeper level of compassion for each and every single being, and then using that perspective to be able to work towards, again, a new vision of balance within society. So I mean, right now within this world, things are pretty challenging, things are pretty arduous, but I guarantee you in 5-10 years from now, we'll look back and we'll be in a completely different state, and kind of entering into like a much this golden age. At least part of society will kind of move into this golden age where we're going to be like, wow, if it wasn't for the injustice, it wouldn't have propelled us to be able to create this just world. So the problems in themselves move us towards the solutions. However, it's up to us to be able to take that action. It's up to us to be able to identify and to see it as a call to action as well. So when you see there's injustice in the world, don't turn a blind eye to it. Don't just kind of ignore it. Kind of pick and choose your fights, pick and choose your battles. I'm not literally telling you to go out there and solve every problem on the earth. Fortunately, there's enough of us that with our collective awareness, we can kind of focus our areas in different places. But, even for light workers, I know we kind of have this tendency to carry a lot, to really want to save everyone, to really want to be able to do as much as we can. But doing as much as you can is, again, also relative to being able to make sure that you're filling your own cup, and know that it's okay if you're not literally trying to solve every problem on the world right now. Focus on the things that you feel called to do. Focus on the, focus locally, think globally, focus on being able to cultivate justice within your own reality. Cultivating justice within your own reality could literally mean becoming more sustainable in terms of like how you use your food. Building a garden is literally a form of being able to cultivate justice, because it's like on the other opposite side of the injustice of, like industrial farming. And again, relatively speaking, it's not like industrial farming in itself is like the worst thing ever, but it's how it's used as well, right? So really inviting you to be able to, again, see this world where we're letting go of judgments, but we're also holding the past accountable to be able to help create a better future of balance, and one that is more in align with our personal virtues. So really inviting you each to really reflect, because I think if you guys are tuned into this card right now, into this broadcast right now, you have good virtues. There are virtues inside of you. There's a specific frequency that we're putting out with this broadcast right now that's attracting like awesome people. And so if you guys are tuned in right now, it's no coincidence that you are here. And I think if you are tuned in, like myself, you carry with you an intuitive knowing of virtues, kind of like the Knights of the Round Table, where with this, again, we want to be able to carry these virtues in a way that will be able to help lead by example. Oftentimes the leaders of this new age won't be necessarily ones that are just like, hey everyone, do this, but it'll be leading by example and inviting people to be a part of the momentum that you're creating. Now, at the same time, it is important for leaders to be able to have collective objectives that we can garner and support people towards. So if you feel that there's something within your heart that reflects a virtue of what you hold, and you're like, you know what, I do want to gather some people together to be able to accomplish something specific, cool, do that. And that doesn't necessarily mean going and like rallying against, like authority or something like that. One of the greatest forms of revolution is to be able to live from a sovereign place within your heart. So that's where, again, like gathering with your own community and really being able to connect with the land and really being able to tap back into your personal connection with spirit, that is a form of revolution. Like it literally is. So that's, again, like the creation of justice isn't always about being able to try to, attack the old dying system, but it's about being able to focus on the creation of the new. And I know a lot of you are hearing that a lot these days. Buckminster Fuller would reiterate that, like focus the attention on building the new as well. Hey, Kristen, thank you for joining in. Happy to have you here. And yeah, again, with this card, again, submitting to a higher order. So really being able to see things from that higher top-down perspective, that Buddha-like nature, really being able to practice listening into the calling of our soul, and being able to act out of love, where what it is that we're creating here within the future, it's not even necessarily because somebody's telling us to do it. It's literally just because within our heart, we know it needs to be done. And what we need to be able to do right now as a community is to be able to continue to come together, to support each other, to create this momentum, to create this space, to create this inspiration that we carry with us out into our individual relationships, out into our communities. And then we're organizing these sovereign circles, these sovereign communities, and we're really just beginning to awaken people more to the wisdom of their own heart, which thus in turn helps them cultivate justice within themselves, thus in turn helps them cultivate the frequency of justice, which in itself is harmony. So like justice is kind of parallel to harmony. So what we are doing, we are creating more harmony within this world by cultivating harmony within ourselves individually as community, and then thus that helps really begin to pave the way for the future. So you are the carriers of justice. Listen to the virtues of your heart, see from a higher perspective, and know that you have everything inside of you that you need. Your heart knows the way. Listen and act. So if that resonates with you guys, drop an 1111 in the chat. Let me know. And I'll take a moment here just to be able to invite everyone to be able to reflect on an affirmation for themselves. So every time when we do these broadcasts, I invite you to be able to reflect on an affirmation for yourself that really kind of like embodies the lesson that you got from this card. So if you were tuned in right now, take an opportunity here to allow yourself to just be able to think on what message you receive from this card. So you can use an I am or a we are affirmation. So shout out to you guys. You guys are the justice guardians. Like when we talk about light guardians, like a lot of this is about the embodiment of harmony, the embodiment of justice. So, a guardian is a guardian who holds virtues. What virtues do you hold? And for those of you who are tuned in, you hold intuitively the virtues of justice as well. So beautiful. Thank you, Kristen, again for joining in. And thank you, everyone. So I'll just practice sharing here. Little affirmation. And I invite you guys to type it out, share it, or just speak it to yourself. So what little affirmation do you feel within your heart based on the message of this card? I am continuing to cultivate harmony within myself as I am a beacon for justice and balance, bringing forth virtues and wisdom of compassion that will help lead the way for a better future for all. It's my little affirmation. Justice. Pew. You are justice. So 1111, seeing it there. Beautiful. Kristen says, sounds like what I've been reflecting on as justice as well through my visions and dreams. Very cool, Kristen. Kristen says, I find so much truth on your station in synchronicity. Yeah, I like that. I like that, you know, a lot of people tune in and they're just like, man, Brendan, like, things are really tapped in here. And I mean, you know, it's a collective effort. We're tapping into it together. So thank you guys for holding space. Ciara says, can't control unconditional, non-conditioned stuff. So much programming clearing and so many downloads of being. Absolutely. Robert dropping in the 1111s. Curtis, yo, what's up, brother? Thank you as well. Curtis saying that definitely resonates. And Kristen says, I am joining the rebellion and retiring to a state of earthly connection, embodiment, and self-sustainability. Literally. Yeah, a lot of people really stepping into, again, this new vision of sovereignty. There is a side project that I'm working on. I'll just let you guys know since it's very relative to what you're just talking about. Right now, it's just a Telegram group, but it's evolving into a Discord channel with other stuff. I just have to set it up. It's called Sovereign Society. And so it's like basically a network and a global map and a database that I'm setting up that's connecting other people who are building sovereign communities. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know. I can connect you to the Telegram group. It's kind of like semi-private right now, but the link is also in my profile on TikTok and Instagram. But you guys, if you guys are interested in that, let me know and stay tuned because I'm still, there's a lot of things I have to, I need one of those time chambers from Dragon Ball Z where you can go in there and like get a bunch of work done and come out and it's like 10 minutes later. So Ciara says, regenerative being, emphasis on being. Beautiful. Robert says, I am the guardian of justice that guards my own heart, inspiring others to do the same. Very well said, Robert. Beautiful. Awesome. Any other affirmations? Go ahead and leave those into the chat there as well. And we'll get ready to move into our next reading. I did just want to be able to check. I know Kayla, if you're tuned in right now, go ahead and let us know because Kayla did sign up on the Kayla did sign up on the Patreon at the $11 level, and then Kristen, thank you so much for adding your support onto the Patreon as well, and happy to be able to have you here as always once again. And let me just check things here. And so if Kayla is tuned in, we can do another reading for Kayla. If Kristen is, otherwise we'll do it right for Kristen. So either Kayla or Kristen. We'll just take a moment here and just give me a second as we just do a little affirmation. Lori, intermission. Ashley says, not an affirmation, but I pray that there was any injustice in my grandparents passing, that the truth comes to light. Aw, Ashley, sending you so much love on that. Holding you guys in our hearts. So beautiful. Okay, let me just take a few moments here. I'm just going to click a couple buttons behind the scene and okay, cool. All right, thank you again, everyone. We're gonna get right into our next reading in just a couple moments here. I just want to be able to make sure I got everything in place that I need. Okay, all right. Okay. All right, cool. Kayla, if you are tuned in, go ahead and let us know. Kristen, if you're ready, we can definitely do a reading for you. And Kristen, thank you so much. Kristen signing up. If this is the same Kristen, again, who, because you were saying you're re-signing up. And again, I apologize. Sometimes I'm like, there's multiple names here and everything like that. But Kristen, you were signed up on the Patreon before, so you're re-signing up, if I'm not mistaken. And Kristen, welcome and thank you again so much for your support. Yes. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you again for joining in. And Kristen, if you would like to be able to initiate this next reading for us, we'll definitely be able to do that now. So for everybody here, give a nice thank you to both Kayla and Kristen for contributing their support onto the Patreon. And let me just update that here. We're getting pretty close to 111 on Patreon, and you guys, man, you guys are making like such a huge difference here. And we got some awesome stuff coming up for the Patreon supporters. Again, I will just mention this. So our quick routine for this week, we do have our Conscious Creator Collaborative Circle every Tuesday, 4 p.m. EDT for creators. And then we also have this week, we have a special Conscious Creator Soul Party happening on Thursday. So if you're a conscious creator and you're on the Patreon, you'll get to be able to join in for that. And that's going to be kind of like a meet and greet, hangout party. We'll like throw it down and make some, have some laughs. I want to do some like, probably do some like trivia. So it'll be pretty casual. So, but yes. Beautiful. Awesome, Kristen. Thank you so much for contributing once again, and happy to be able to have you here. And let me just make sure that we got everything in place. And again, for those of you on TikTok or Instagram, if you guys want to join in on YouTube, go ahead and do that. We're currently at 107 on Patreon, working towards, again, if you guys saw my Patreon, my goal is to be able to literally reach like 200 on Patreon before the baby comes. So which will be, I'll tell you guys real quick. Do you know what the birthday is for the baby? Go ahead and take a guess. I'll let you guys take a guess on like what the proposed birth date is for the baby, like within like a day or two. I'll let you guys guess because it's kind of cool. It's like a pretty cool birthday, and for me, like some people would be like, that's a weird birthday, but then for me, I'm like, dude, that's a dope birthday. Like how friggin' symbolic is that? So let me just set things up here, and Kristen, let's get into a reading with you. And Kristen, as per usual, we'll let you choose deck. Oh, and Trinity, if you would like to be able to receive a screenshot for that reading, like for the written information, just send me a direct message on Instagram, and I'd love to be able to send that to you as well. And again, Trinity, if you are interested in joining in on the Patreon as well, just let me know and we can get you set up there as well. So, because I know you said that you're also like a tarot facilitator, and yeah, for anybody who is a leading member on the team, if you guys do tarot, like let me know. Stay tuned, because I do want to be able to help kind of set things up in a way that's like helping the fellow tarot creators be able to have more people tuned in as well. And I would encourage you guys to check out Twitch. You might be interested in it, especially if you can set up the multi-stream on your computer. So if you got a laptop, I can teach you guys how to multi-stream to Twitch and YouTube at the same time. So cool. Ross is saying November 22nd. Well, dude, I mean, the baby's not that we're only like 11 weeks in, I will say. So the baby is definitely not coming on November 22nd. So Ciara says, thank you so much for these wonderful connections. Thank you all for showing up for this live. Ciara, thank you so much. If you're heading out, have a beautiful day. And thank you again for your readings that you do as well. Kristen, let's get right into coordinating things for the next reading. So Kristen, go ahead and choose which deck you would like for yourself and for the team. We have the Hero's Journey deck, Sacred Spirit deck, Lightworker Oracle deck, or Ananda Tarot deck. And the Ananda Tarot deck was the one that we just did. So Ciara says, we are a part of this divine flow of love, lasting through the fears that wish to keep us stuck in the old. We grow and we grow and growing, knowing the truth of our soul. I like that flow tree there, Ciara. Beautiful. We are going to be doing a flow tree class coming up next week. So this week we have our Conscious Creator Collaborative Circle for members, or Collaborative Party, Conscious Creator Collaborative Soul Party for members. Next week we're gonna have a dojo, and I want to focus the dojo on like Discord and Patreon. So I want to teach you guys a bit about how to utilize Discord and Patreon for the members there. So if you're thinking about like creating like a membership for your community, I'll be talking about that. And then the week after that, it will be a flow tree workshop. So every month we got some awesome events for the creators, and also for the creators, when you guys have your own events, let us know and we'll help feature them through the community. All right. Kristen, Sacred Spirit. If you would like to do Sacred Spirit, we can definitely do that. Let us know. You said Sacred Spirit maybe, so I would definitely be down for Sacred Spirit. Sacred Spirit is, I mean, I think every deck here is like my favorite deck, so I honestly don't like one better than the other. I love them all. And I do want to get a new deck. I was saying to myself, once I reach 150 on Patreon, once we reach 150 on Patreon, I'm gonna buy a new deck. So little bonus gift for myself. For those of you on Twitch, thank you guys so much for joining in, and we'll keep things open on Twitch. Sometimes Twitch is pretty quiet, but if you guys jump over to Twitch, feel free to show some love there. And I'll post a link for the Twitch. Honestly, I would encourage you guys to check out Twitch, even if you're not streaming there, just to be able to check out like the tarot category within there. It's pretty cool. So, all right. Okay, let's get ready to move into this next reading. So, Kristen, if you want to do the Sacred Spirit deck, we can totally do that. So just confirm if that's good for you. And then we will do that reading there. And again, thank you again so much, everyone, for contributing, for joining in, and for adding your support in all forms. If you guys would like to be able to join on the Patreon as a member, definitely encouraging you to do that, especially if you're a conscious creator and looking to connect with fellow conscious creators. And again, the link for that is in the info for this video. The link for that is in the info for my TikTok and my Instagram. Hey, Jedi Metatron, thanks for joining in, dude. And again, if you guys would like to be able to do that, that's a $11 monthly membership, but that's like the entry one. And then there's like the plus level, which is the $33 level. And again, at the $33 level, that's where you guys can also get a light guardian crystal, which would be like a regular quartz one. This one's actually a Lumerian one. It's just the one that I got in range right now. I actually have to make some new ones. But if you guys sign up at the $33 level on Patreon, if you would like to be able to get a light guardian crystal, let me know. Send me a little bit extra for shipping, and they would just ask that you pay shipping. And then with that, I'll send that to you as an extra gift as well. So this is one of the Lumerian light guardian crystals, and the Patreon supporters also get discounts for those on the shop. And yeah, thank you again so much. We've had a few $33 signups onto the Patreon, and also with the Patreon, you guys also get a monthly one-on-one session with me as well, which would be like a tarot reading or a conscious media creation coaching session. Or sometimes, like, some people are just like, you know what, I just kind of want to like shoot the shift with you. So that's cool too. All right, let's do the Sacred Spirit. Kristen, thank you so much. Good morning, Carly. Good morning, Carly. Good morning, Carly. So Carly says everyone needs a light guardian crystal. Honestly, that's my plan. And again, you know, those light guardian crystals, man, like, they're limited supply. Like, I stocked up on those crystals like a while ago, but they will run out eventually. So unfortunately, but my mission, as Merlin instructed me, is to be able to deliver those to the fellow light guardian. So yes. All right, let's get right into this next reading. Kristen, thank you so much for your support on the Patreon. To our recent Patreon supporters, Kristen, Kayla, Christine, MLG, and Sunny. And yeah, let's keep things rolling here as we get into this next reading. Kristen, just to give you a quick instruction, and for anybody here who's tuned in, this is usually how we do things. Every reading we do, it's for anyone who's tuned in. And what we do here is we do a little meditation, which everyone here is invited to be able to tune into, be a part of. And then with that, we'll collectively drop into our heart space, focus on gratitude. And then from there, we will focus on the intention, show us what we need to see. And that would be for the collective, for the individual, for the team. And then from there, Kristen, what I'll do, I'll just instruct you to take a few more moments as you tap into your heart space, listen to your breath, listen to your intuition, and then when you're ready, you open your eyes and you type now in the chat. So we'll guide you through that. And for everybody else at that point, you guys would just continue to put forth that intention there as well. So we'll guide you through it. So welcome again to those of you tuned in on Twitch. We got 5 people tuned in on Twitch right now. The party is rocking on Twitch right now. So thank you guys so much for joining in. And yeah, let's get ready to do this. So Kristen, just confirm that you're ready into the chat. And again, we'll keep an eye open for any new contributions on PayPal or Patreon. Quick note, at 4 p.m. EDT today, we have our Shooting the Shift podcast. And that's going to be on my Instagram. So if you guys aren't already yet, connect to my Instagram at Mystic Spider-Man. And we're going to have Lauren. Lauren's actually going to be on the Shooting the Shift. Actually, Carly, if you're around for Shooting the Shift today, let me know. I feel like if you want to jump in for that, that would be some fun times. So 4 p.m. EDT today, Shooting the Shift on my Instagram with Lauren, aka Hypnolution, and possibly Carly. So all right. Kristen, confirming that you're ready in the chat. Let's get ready to move into this. We got like 1,000 people tuned in right now. So let's do this. For anybody who's here, this message is for you, and inviting you guys to be able to join us in this quick little meditation, and just waiting for Kristen to be able to confirm that they are ready. And then we will dive right into this. And again, for those of you tuned in on Twitch, I'm live here Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. EDT. And you guys can contribute to get an on-air reading by contributing on PayPal or Patreon. And definitely check out the Patreon if you're looking to connect into our membership community with our super awesome team of conscious media creators. And again, Carly, I don't know if you saw, this Thursday we have a conscious creator soul party for our members coming up. So that'll be fun, which will be like a meet and greet as well. All right, Kristen, just looking for the confirmation that you're ready in the chat, and then we'll get right into this one. And appreciate, again, everybody joining in. We're going to be doing the Sacred Spirit deck. All right, Kristen is ready. So this is a Sacred Spirit deck. All right, let's do this. Let's roll right into this. And from there, we'll do another reading after this. And anybody who signs up on PayPal or Patreon, we'll keep an eye open for that. And yeah, after that, we'll see. That might be the last reading after that, but we'll keep an eye open for any more contributions. So for those of you tuned in, inviting you to be able to join us in this quick little meditation. So for everybody here, when you're ready, go ahead and gently close your eyes. Just allow yourself to connect with your breath. Soft, gentle inhale. And soft, gentle exhales. Just breathing here, allowing yourself to just arrive into the gift of this present moment. And as you breathe here, just bring yourself into your heart space, focusing on gratitude for yourself, for the team, for the space, for the messages we are here to receive. With gratitude in your heart for everybody here, for Kristen, collectively focusing our attention on the intention, show us what we need to see. We being the individual, we being the community, we being the team. Show us what we need to see. And so for everybody here, speaking that intention with your heart, your mind, with your words, with your soul. Imagining this like beautiful beam of light just coming up from where you are, going into the heavens and bringing down the wisdom of the stars. And so for everybody here, just continuing to keep that intention in your heart. Kristen, for you, take a few more moments listening to your breath, listening to your intuition. When you're ready, you can gently open your eyes and type now in the chat. And at that point, we'll split the deck and pull the card. For everybody else, you guys can open your eyes now and gently type your wizard noises into the chat. And I'll charge a deck, and here we go. Each day, each way, each new way to play, as the sun continues to shine on our face. I'm so grateful that you are here. I'm so grateful that we are near through the realms of this digital space where we can allow ourselves to rise, to meet the sun with a smiling face, to be able to see the mirror within our hearts that reflects the truth of our inner stars. And so, as the magic of this moment continues to unwind, may we allow ourselves to truly find the wisdom that has always been within as we anchor forth the harmony, for we are eternal kin. And as Kristen types now into the chat, we split the deck to see what message the universe has. Beautiful. Oh, wow. Oh, this is very, very cool card. I don't know if I've read this one on air before, so this might be a new one. So the card that we have pulled, again, with Kristen helping facilitate, one of our newly contributed Patreon supporters, and for everybody who happens to be tuned in, is card number 20, Hidden Realms, Create Conscious Awareness. Card number 20, Hidden Realms, Create Conscious Awareness. I'll show it to the TikTok and Instagram. Again, for those of you on TikTok and Instagram, now is when I would encourage you guys to join in on YouTube. Just click the link in my profile to join in on YouTube, and it's super easy there. Thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. Let's dive into this card. I'm just going to explain the visual image of the card. And yeah, as we do this, we'll keep an eye open for any contributions on PayPal and Patreon. So again, if you guys are here, this message is for you. So just visually explain this card. Very, very beautiful artwork here. Again, artwork by our friend Lewis Dyer. Very detailed artwork, and I'll try and break it down here. So we have this starting from the top, we have this image of this very kind of higher dimensional being with this illuminated source of light above them. And you can actually see their face. It's almost like a Lyran face. It's almost kind of like a lion face. It's very angelic kind of blue deity type being, and they've kind of got like wings that are almost like butterfly wings with eyes on them. Wow, there's so much detail in this image here. They've also got kind of like a pine cone at their abdomen, and kind of like the wings from like Isis, the Egyptian wings there. And then down below, there's some like crystals, and then this guy that's kind of here, and then we got multiple kind of figures here. There's another lion face there, another guy that's just kind of like chilling out, so to speak. There's a skull, which of course can represent life and rebirth. Another guy there that's got like a kind of like a light source in his hand. It kind of looks like Iron Man. And a little bird there. It might be a hummingbird and a horse. A horse right on the side there. So wow, there's like some super intricate details on this image. And again, that's just me explaining the literal image. Donna Marie, thank you so much for joining in. The way how we do these readings are available for anybody who contributes on PayPal or Patreon, but every reading that we do is for the collective. So if you're tuned in right now, if you happen to synchronistically be tuned in right now, this message is for you. So what we're going to do here, we're going to read from the book, and then I'll continue to channel some more inspiration from my heart space. And again, for anybody here, if you're tuned in, this message is for you. So if anything I say resonates, drop an 1111 in the chat and just allow yourself to be open. You can close your eyes, you can meditate, and I'll just speak from my heart to yours. So on behalf of the universe, this is for you. So card number 20, Hidden Realms. Create conscious awareness. Analyze your dream cycles. Traditionally, shamans are the gatekeepers to the hidden realms of ancient wisdom and magic. Accessing the hidden realms for further meaning and insight into a soul's pain or an individual's dis-ease. Unconscious conscious communication. The shaman works to bridge the realms between humanity and creation. Communicating with the elements, nature, animal realms, ancestors, angelic forces, and spiritual beings that serve humanity as guardians, guides, teachers, and masters, and more, is the role of the shaman. These ancient practices have been developed and refined across time, with shamans, seers, visionaries serving their communities as mediators between the human experience and the world of nature. Restoring power to those who have experienced disempowerment or physical experience. Shamanic practitioners reconnect the aspect of the soul that have been lost through trauma or life experiences. Right now, you are being asked to connect to the hidden realms, expanding your consciousness, to open your mind wide and reconnect with your soul for deep healing and transformation. Again, if anything I say resonates with you, drop an 1111 in the chat. There is much to be learned from the hidden realms that can assist you in your waking life. Examine your dream cycles and interpret your subconscious messages. Creating conscious awareness will allow you to actively connect to your universal guardians. The elements and celestial realm, like any learned skill, practice will improve the strength of your connection. Pay attention to any symbols, animals, or visual images that appear in your life now, as there is deep meaning that applies to you. Shadow aspect, social disconnection, daydreaming, codependency. So the shadow aspect is kind of like the opposite of like one spectrum of the card. So the shadow aspect of this card, social disconnection, daydreaming, codependency. Sacred crystal, Numite, not familiar with that one. Angel existence, guardian angel Saliah, Sealiah. If anyone wants to look that up, feel free. Arc guardian angel Celia, Sealiah. Psychic and spiritual awakening, transformation. So that's what the angel is there. Affirmation: I am a clear and successful mediator of conscious, divine communication. Wow, beautiful, beautiful card here. All right, let's get ready to dive a little bit deeper here. Again, for those of you tuned in, thank you guys so much. At this point, I'm just going to kind of continue to channel some inspiration from my heart to yours. So, okay. All right. So this is a very, very, very beautiful card. Very interesting. And again, you know, with a card like this, it's really... a card like this can be very intense. A card like this is a card that, you know, for some people, it takes a lot of work to be able to kind of like begin to open yourself up to a card that really is again inviting us to be able to connect more with these like higher dimensional spaces. Because honestly, I think at some points within our life, we can be aware that we are connected to these like higher dimensional spaces, with all these like beings and guardians and teachers and so forth and so on, without actually having it immediately as like a part of our waking reality, but more so something that's like a wisdom within our heart. But with a card like this, it's really reiterating and reassuring us that, you know, in any moment, there's an abundance of support that we have behind us. In any moment, there's so much love that is being shared with us from these higher dimensional spaces. And so, with a card like this, you know, it's interesting because it's kind of talking a lot about the shamans. And I think in today's day and age, you know, the shamans back then, like they were obviously the ones that would be like the walkers between worlds, the ones that would like bring forth the wisdom from the guardians and the angels and the ancients and the ancestors. In today's day and age, you know, I think there's like a little bit of shaman inside each and every single one of us, because I think that's like a natural part of who we are. But it doesn't mean that we should necessarily be going around and telling people that we are shamans, or proclaiming that we are shamans. I think the word shaman is a very specific type of word that refers to not just process of being able to kind of like connect to these realms, but again, to be able to like serve the role as the mediator between the human experience and the world of nature. So with this card, you know, it's inviting us to be able to reflect on, you know, what is our relationship with the concept of a shaman? Is there the possibility that, you know, maybe even within our family lineage, there may have been those who already were seers? And so with a card like this, again, I can only speak from my own experience, and from being able to talk to those who have had their own experiences as well, where with a card like this, it's incredibly important to be able to have the proper mechanisms in place to be able to ground yourself with this energy. Because I think, again, like with this energy, and again, this isn't necessarily from my experience, but more so from my experience of talking to other people about their experience. Some people, like, literally their perception of the world is different. You know, I know even for Lacey, like she says, like she like her perception of the world, like she visually doesn't see things the same way I do. Like she sees like energy different. She sees it as if there's like a little bit less of a veil. And I know if she sees it that way, there are others that see it that way as well. Because I think, you know, our mind and our consciousness is capable of kind of like tuning into these spaces and these places. And sometimes it's just like a slight shift of the dial that can allow you to be able to see more of these spaces. However, with a card like this, it's really inviting you to be able to hone that ability, because I think that ability at sometimes can become overwhelming when it is something that isn't something that you feel like you have control of, when it's something that at times can feel a little bit overwhelming. So with a card like this, if it is something where, you know, we're opening ourselves up to this bigger consciousness, this bigger awareness, I think it's important to be able to reflect on why. Like, why do we want to be able to open ourselves? Is it because we just want to be able to experience more of the spectacle of this multidimensional reality? Or is it because, you know, like there's like something within our heart that's telling us that, you know, we want to be able to do it as a way to be able to bring this wisdom back into our communities, to be able to serve, to be able to become more of who we are here to be. And so with this card, it's also a card that's really emphasizing the importance of being able to invite us to connect further with our dreams and our dream cycles. And, you know, even here within the community, we do have our dream discussion class, our dream discussion circle for our Patreon members, which again, you know, for those of you who are, if you're looking to be able to find a place to talk about dreams, like I would definitely invite you to be able to check that out. Because when we start to bring more awareness to our dreams, that's like the place where we have like the most immediate access to these dimensional spaces, to these higher conscious realms, so to speak. So if that's something that you're feeling more of a call to, in the process of being able to focus more on the connection that we have with our dream space, it's also being able to connect us into being able to, the way I explain it, it's kind of like you're like beginning to kind of like merge more of your higher dimensional self with your 3D self. A lot of people right now, like that higher dimensional self, it's like it feels like it's really far away. Like it's always there, but it feels like it's really far away. Whereas through dream practice, it begins to develop that relationship. It kind of like begins to like strengthen the connection between the awareness and the wisdom of that higher dimensional version of ourself into the awareness of the 3D plane. However, again, with this card, because with any card, you know, when we're talking about being able to develop our psychic abilities and stuff like that, I would just say, you know, it's incredibly important to make sure you're doing it in a way that is safe and that is grounded and that is supported. And that's something that, you know, I can't necessarily tell you exactly what that's going to look like. I think it's important to really be able to use discernment, especially when it comes to our own personal practices, and to be able to make sure that we're doing it in a way that is healthy, in a way that is allowing us to be able to maintain a clear perception of it. Because I think when we kind of start working with these energies, sometimes, you know, our perception of, you know, like what is quote unquote real and what's not real, it can begin to shift. It can kind of begin to become a little bit distorted, and sometimes that can lead to confusion as well. So I think it's important to be able to, again, you know, make sure that we're keeping our physical body healthy, keeping our mind healthy, and not being afraid to be able to like ask for, you know, like professional counseling and support, or finding another person that can be there for you as a bit of a steward and a guide through the practice of this process as well. Because again, with this, creating conscious awareness will allow you to actively connect to your universal guardians, the elements in the celestial realms. Like any learned skill, practice will improve the strength of your connection. Pay attention to any symbols, animals, and visual images that appear in your life now. There's deep meaning that applies. So this card is very, very relative to each and every single one of us, because I know for some people, literally, like they're like kind of like tapped into these higher dimensional realms almost by default. And sometimes that can actually be like kind of overwhelming at times. So in that case, you know, like again, I think it's important to be able to reach out to those who perhaps would be able to understand you a little bit better. And again, that's not something that I can necessarily say that I've a lot of experience with, but I think it's important to, in some way or another, be able to like find a way to be able to bring ourselves back to a place of center. If that means connecting with nature, if that means journaling, if that means, you know, like being able to have someone else that we can talk to. However, when we're not constantly in this place where we just feel like our consciousness is totally like kind of like blown open into these realms, it's also inviting us to be able to develop a little bit more of an awareness in terms of how the spirit is talking to us through the everyday, through the symbolism, through the synchronicities as well. This for me is kind of more what I relate to. This is more kind of my experience. Like I don't necessarily like have those like super crazy conscious awareness perceptions. I'm aware of them, but that's not how I perceive things. However, my communicationship with spirit and with guardians and with ancestors, it happens a lot through synchronicity within my waking reality as well as within my dream space, and something that I'm diving deeper into with my dream space as well. So what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to again, find a balance where we are, our intention is to become a clear and successful mediator of conscious divine communication. And so we want to be able to make sure that when we're working with these energies, again, we're carrying it in a way where it's balanced, where it feels balanced, where we're still able to operate from a place of clarity and a place of discernment, which I think is so powerful and so important as well. So this card really does hit upon the point that, you know, there are those of us who are here that have come here with these kind of innate abilities already tapped, already unlocked, already kind of like tapped into us. And it's important to be able to begin to find the connections in the communities with those of us who can help support and assist with the development of these abilities. Because I think in a lot of cases, you know, like some people, they have these kind of like connections to these abilities, but if they don't have like a support network, usually what happens is that we just end up putting those people on medication, and we end up just like, you know, just like labeling them with certain like medical terms and everything like that. Now, again, I can't fully say like what is or what isn't the right thing to do. I think at certain times, you know, like medication can serve a purpose. You know, if there's like intrusive thoughts and everything like that, there can be times where medication can help with that. But again, at some point, you know, it's just important to be able to just to listen to your heart and decide on what's best to you, and to be able to work with the help that's there to be able to work towards this goal of being a clear and successful mediator of consciousness. So again, the sensitivity that we have to these higher dimensional realms, it's going to be different for some people. And I know for some people, it's like they come in and it's like cranked up already. And that's not something that I can really give like a lot of like professional expertise on as well. But I do think, again, in some way or another, it's important to be able to like, you know, ask for help when we need it, and begin to work with the basic tools and the methods that we have around us, such as our practices of meditation, breath work, connecting with nature, you know, being able to have people to be able to talk to about it as well, seeking professional help when it's relative, seeking counseling when it's relative as well. So it really is a card that invites us to be able to again, cultivate a degree of responsibility when it comes to carrying these abilities. Because, you know, again, like with great power comes great responsibility. And so with these, if it feels like sometimes these abilities are almost a bit overwhelming, that's okay. But at the same time, you know, it's important to be able to like find the ways in which we can kind of like ground them, bring it back into that space of reality where, you know, maybe we're kind of like tapping into it more through will, opposed to kind of more of like a spontaneous involuntary connection into this space. So we're connecting more into it through kind of the ceremony, kind of again going back to like the shamanic process of the intention of serving as something that, again, you know, the ancient practices have been developed and refined across time with shamans, seers, visionaries serving their communities as mediators between human experience and the natural world. So it is something that will be developed over time. So this is a very interesting card because, again, I think this card really is something that's going to be relative to different people, and for those that, you know, do perhaps kind of like see things in a much more kind of like their perception is already open. You know, like, again, I just send you guys like so much love because I do think that there is an important role that you have to be able to play. And that's where, again, you know, rather than just like labeling things as, you know, just like, oh, this is an illness and stuff, you know, if anything, it might just kind of be like, maybe things are a little bit out of balance, but how can we kind of like bring them back to balance, and how can we keep you, you know, in a place where you're both in this reality and still in the other reality, but in a way that you're still able to kind of like consciously choose where your focused attention is in any moment based on your will as well. And again, I do feel that, you know, those people that are kind of tapped more into that by default, channeling that into your art, channeling that into your message, channeling that into a way that can set the intention to be able to inspire and serve is a great way to be able to move some of those energies. Because I think sometimes people are kind of tapped into those energies and it's like, what do I do with this? Like what, like it's making me go, like, you know, it's very hard to handle. So I think if you can find ways to kind of like express it through art, channel it into a creative means that can help you process it, and again, even like present it in a way where perhaps others can see it and be like, oh, this is actually something I relate to as well. And to just know that you're not alone, I think is incredibly important, because, you know, like we are these multidimensional beings, and different people, their attunement is different depending on just kind of the body that they're born into. So I think for those of us that are kind of, you know, on one end of the spectrum where it's just like, man, like my reality looks pretty normal, my reality looks pretty normal, you know, for us to be able to have compassion for those that may see things differently, and to be able to even just ask them and be like, hey, what do you need? Like, how can I help you? You know, again, like honestly, you look at what we usually identify as, like, you know, like even, you know, autism and even Asperger's, you know, we look at that and we have like this label to it, but like, is that something that is literally someone whose, you know, frequency is a little bit wider, whose default frequency is a little bit wider? And I think in those situations, rather than just ostracizing those people, you know, being able to find a form of communication where you're checking in with them and be like, you know, like, what do you need? How can I help you? You know, what works for you? Different people are going to have different sensory, you know, ways of navigating this world. And we can't expect how we navigate it to be the way that they navigate it, because the way that we perceive it isn't the way that that they perceive it. So with this card, you know, I really invite you guys to be able to open up your heart with a little bit more compassion to those of us who are kind of, you know, stepping more into this role of being able to understand that we are conduits for this place of consciousness, and to know, you know, from again, from the heart of the universe to you, is that, you know, in some way your soul did choose to come here with that. It chose to come here with that style of perception, and with it is something that you will learn to wield and to hold over time. And some days there will be good days, and some days there will be bad days. But again, I just want to be able to really reiterate that, you know, what you carry with you is something that can serve as a gift for those bigger than you, because there will be others who perhaps will continue to kind of grow into it and be like, that may be something similar that they may have. And then the way that you've learned to navigate it and balance it and handle it is a way that you can continue to kind of like pass on to teach others as well. I think, you know, I can only give so much experience and advice on this, but, you know, for others, for shamans, quote unquote shamans, for these seers, for these kind of people that are kind of like tapped into these realms, for them to be able to like teach future people that have similar ways of perceiving, I think is incredibly important. Because again, throughout reality, the shamans and the seers and those that were kind of more tapped into these spaces outside of just dream time and synchronicities and stuff like that, there was always one in every village. And they were someone that was like, again, like seen with like this like deep respect. And so again, within your heart, maybe in a past life, maybe that was a role that you played, if that's something that you resonate with. But yeah, finding the ability to be able to navigate this world in a way where you're understanding that there's something very meaningful to what it is that you carry with you, and how you continue to create a balance of that within your own heart is going to allow you to be able to share the wisdom and the gifts of that, of these hidden realms, in a way that will bring forth like solutions for society, like wisdom and inspiration and messages and perceptions. You become an ambassador for these realms, because not all of us see it quite in the same way, but at least we can begin to find a means of communication that will allow us to be able to serve collectively as mediators for consciousness. So again, affirmation: I am a clear and successful mediator of conscious divine communication. So divine communication is coming through you. How can we as individuals and collectives continue to work on becoming clear and successful mediators? And again, I think even just being able to focus on the basics, like the physical body, the sleep, the diet, any other substances that we are working with. I think not working with other substances is fine, because the brain is a very delicate ecosystem of chemicals. So we do want to be able to like find that equilibrium, ideally through, again, like natural remedies. Again, everything I'm saying, take it with a grain of salt. I'm not like a registered doctor that can fully recommend like what isn't and isn't the best for you. And that's where I think seeking those professionals that may be able to say like, oh, like try these certain things, and they will actually help you with like certain processes that can help like balance things out again. But yeah, even just like finding that community where you can find other people that might actually be able to relate to you, and also understand that like there may be others who want to help you but might not know how to help you. So even in those cases, being able to communicate like, hey, this is what my needs are, from a kind place. Just be like, hey, I know sometimes it can be maybe a bit challenging to fully understand what I'm experiencing. This is what my needs are. It's almost like two different, it's like a bee trying to explain things to a dog or something. Like they see the world in two very, very different ways, but the bee's like, oh, this is how I experience it, and the dog's like, this is how I experience it. And then they find that middle ground of how we allow ourselves to be able to communicate and support each other within this process. Again, that's a very botched metaphor, but nonetheless, even though we are humans, our perception is not always consistent, because we kind of are, it's kind of hard to explain, but again, it's like we're antennas for consciousness. And sometimes some of us come into this reality and our brains are a little bit different, but it doesn't mean that your brain is broken. And the beautiful thing about the brain is that if you do feel that maybe there's like more intrusive thoughts, a lot of that, again, like if you start looking at like again like neuroplasticity, like you start finding new ways to be able to use things like the Eastern philosophy, the breath work, and the meditation to be able to gain more control over how your thoughts are being able to navigate throughout this world. And that goes for any of us, because I think a lot of us deal with like things that we recognize as anxiety and intrusive thoughts. But again, your brain will do what it does most. So if you can begin to practice things like meditation and things like that, sometimes there are going to be those days where things might feel a little bit chaotic, but there's always a move you can make. And when you begin to develop those skill sets, such as like, okay, I feel things are a little bit chaotic right now, what do I need to do? Maybe I need to lessen my senses. Maybe that means putting on sunglasses, or maybe that means closing my eyes and connecting with my breath and bringing it back to that space. And then always having that method that you can use in those moments where you feel like things are a little bit all over the place. Because again, with this card, like I see this card and it's like so noisy, and I know that for some people that's literally like what their reality feels like. Sometimes it feels like it's like there's a lot going on and stuff. So with this card, I think it's important for us to be able to understand that high frequency of like what's going on, that's like always there. And so again, it's kind of like some people, when you experience psychedelics, you kind of like tap into these states, that state of like being able to be like, whoa, I'm in an ocean of energy. Like some people experience that by default, and that's not something that even like like medically we fully acknowledge sometimes. But spiritually, I'm like, I understand, like I can understand like what's happening there. So, you know, it's important for us to be able to again, just kind of like understand that for some of our friends in the community, that may be the case. And I know there are like people that I know that experience things in that way. And again, giving, like, helping them, support them, and reassuring them that, again, you know, what they're experiencing is something that they can channel in some very inspirational, and helping them feel purpose in what it is that they have, instead of just being like, oh, like, this sucks, because that's an easy story to be able to fall into. Instead, being able to say, like, how can I channel this into sharing it as a gift, sharing it as a key, sharing it as something that will serve others as well. And I think, for those of us who are kind of tapped into those higher realms, hidden realms, be able to have that purpose, to be able to say, what can I do with this energy? Channel it into to something where it's like your writing, your language, your song, your art, whatever the case may be. I think that's, at least off the top of my head, one thing that would be a good way to be able to go about it. And then again, you know, for those of us who don't always see things from this higher perspective, like high frequency, again, just to kind of like know that those realms are there. And then if you do want to tap into them gradually, again, pay attention to synchronicities and symbols and dream time, and then, you know, develop that in a way that makes sense for you, and meditation as well. So anyways, I talked on that card for a while, but it's a very interesting card. It's a very, very interesting card. It's not one that really hit, there's not too many cards that really hit upon that theme. But yes, Kristen, seeing the 1111s, Kristen says, it's so relevant to my experience lately. Thank you for your words. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you as well. And thank you again for helping us facilitate this card, and open up a little bit more of the conversation related to that. Because I'm sure, you know, even for others, they're like, oh, like, either I relate to that, or maybe I know someone who might relate to that a little bit more. So for anybody else, if that resonates with you, drop an 1111 in the chat, and feel free to write out a little affirmation. So again, the affirmation in the book is, I am a clear and successful mediator of conscious divine communication. So little affirmation, if you guys want to practice sharing in the chat. I am, or we are. I am continuing to develop my awareness as a mediator for divine consciousness through deepening into my dream practices and opening up to communication through symbols and synchronicities. I am opening my heart to be able to support those who perceive reality from a unique perspective, different from my own, yet equally meaningful and important as divine mediators. Aho. So, card number 20. Hidden realms create conscious awareness. So very beautiful card. Kristen, thank you again for joining us once again on the Patreon, and for upgrading it there as well. And yeah, for anybody else, please feel free to leave any comments in the chat. Hi Candace, good morning, welcome. So we'll I just want to be able to check in with my throat. I think that may be the last reading for today, just because I want to be able to pace myself. We've already been going for an hour and 90 minutes. Or what did I just say? For 90 minutes, for an hour and 30 minutes. However, if there is anybody else who would like to be able to contribute on the PayPal or Patreon, go ahead and do that now. And if so, I'm okay with doing at least one more reading. Otherwise, if we're ready to be able to wrap it up, that's fine. So for anybody else who resonated with that, go ahead and let us know. I think that's a very interesting conversation though. Carly, did you like that card? Was that an interesting card for you too? Kristen, thank you again as well. So beautiful. All right, team. So again, if anybody else would like to be able to sign up for the PayPal or the Patreon, go ahead and do that now. Or if you guys would like to just be able to contribute on PayPal for a contribution of your choice, $5 or whatever, you're welcome to do that. I can do at least one more reading, but we're gonna just hold off to see if there is a new sign up on PayPal or Patreon. And then we'll decide from there, because otherwise I'll get close to wrapping it up, and I'm gonna rest my throat since yeah, again, it's easy for me to do these and suddenly it's like 3 hours later and then my throat's like really like ugh. So man, I've been drinking so much honey lately. I don't know, like, has anybody else just been like living off of honey? Like, I know I have. So yeah, just been like green tea and honey mode. So honey's good, it's got a lot of antibacterial. So beautiful. Thank you again to those of you who tuned in on Twitch. Thank you to Nursalina. Thank you so much for your follow on Twitch. Again, we're live here Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. EDT. If you guys are interested in connecting to our team of conscious media creators, we also do have a Discord server, and I'm going to be upgrading the Discord server. That's part of what I'm doing today. in addition to a few other things. And yeah, again, if you guys are looking to connect further as a member, as a Patreon member, definitely check out the Patreon, and you can join in for some upcoming events. Again, we have our Conscious Creator Collaborative Circle Tuesdays at 4 p.m. EDT. We have our Paradigm Shift Circle discussion Wednesday. This week's topic is this reality a simulation? That's at 4 p.m. EDT on the Discord and broadcast on my YouTube. And then Thursday, we have our Conscious Creator Soul Party, which will be really exciting. And that's going to be, again, kind of like a meet and greet for creators. So if you guys are looking to be able to join in for that, then join the Patreon if you haven't already and connect there as well. So Kristen, thank you again. We'll hang out here for a few more moments. If there are any contributions on the PayPal or Patreon, please feel free to do that now. And then we'll get right into at least one more reading. Jedi Metatron says, synchronicity, all the music in number on the bus on YouTube on CarPlay, 11 11 2 2 3 3 4 4 5 5 5 6 7 yeah. I dig it, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, it's man, it's pretty interesting when like the synchronicities just kind of pop up all over the place, right? Yeah, if you guys want to join in for the conversation about is this reality a simulation, again, connect to our Discord server. Link for that's in my YouTube and in my profile on TikTok and Instagram. And Discord, I just put it in the chat. And yeah, just join in on the Discord and you guys can take place in that. So that'll be a fun one. Cool. All right, thank you guys so much again for joining in. Again, we're just in a bit of an intermission. If there is anybody else that would like to be able to receive an on-air reading, contribute on PayPal or Patreon. The Patreon, I would definitely encourage you to check out, even if it's like not something you're doing today, but maybe just check it out for later. Contributions on the PayPal only process on the 1st of each month. So if you sign up today, it doesn't even cost you anything. The contribution would process on October 1st. And again, we got some more stuff coming your way. So okay, let me just check things here. Beautiful. Okay. Deep breaths. Yeah. Glitches. Man, last night's storm, my post, I'm like, is this a glitch in the Matrix? So funny. All right, team, thank you so much for joining in. Last call on anybody who might want to be able to receive an additional reading. Yeah, we'll talk about the Free Guy movie. I almost made a video about that. I don't know if I'll go back to that. The Free Guy movie was like totally simulation, consciousness theme stuff. Man, go watch the movie The Nines by with Ryan Reynolds in it if you guys are looking for another good movie that kind of hits on that. Actually, last night, weirdly enough, me and Lacey watched a movie on Amazon Prime called Bliss. And it's all about like Owen Wilson, and he like loses his job, and then he meets this woman, and this woman's convinced that this reality is a simulation, and then they like go on this crazy adventure together. It's called Bliss. It's on Amazon Prime. If you're interested in consciousness and stuff like that, feel free to check it out. It's pretty trippy. So beautiful. Hi, Candace. All right, team. Last call if there's anybody else who would like to be able to contribute on PayPal or Patreon, or again, if anybody wants to update on their Patreon as well. Again, if you guys are signed up at the $11 level on Patreon, definitely feel free to check out the $33 level. Again, with that gives you the option to be able to have additional one-on-one meetings with me where I can help like dive deep and support you on your journey as a conscious creator, or be able to help you with one-on-one tarot sessions. And then you also get the option to be able to receive a beautiful light guardian crystal there as well. And Sierra, thank you for joining in. Thank you again, everyone, for being here. This is I'll just show you here. So like this light guardian crystal, you can see it has like the color changing option. This one's a Lumerian light guardian crystal. The regular quartz ones, they're just like a little bit, the crystal is a little bit different. Like sometimes the crystal's a little bit shorter, sometimes they're a little bit chonkier, but they still like equally as cool. But if you guys are like, damn, I want one of those crystals, the best deal is the $33 level on that on the Patreon, or you can literally sign up for the 11 and order one of those. And again, those are handmade by me to be able to help assist you guys on your shift in consciousness. I like to think of them as like little Excaliburs. They're like, meow. So, and you can use them for like meditation and dream practice. I also do have like some crystals that I like to be able to use for like dream practice, where you like take them. This is pretty cool. And you like put it on your hand, and then you hold it, and then you like hold that while going to sleep. And then you can like actually just kind of like use that to feel the pulse through the hand, through the crystal. and then sometimes you can actually like bring the crystal with you into the dream space. So this is a little Lumerian one. This one isn't even on my shop, but if anybody here like really wants this little Lumerian crystal, feel free to let me know. It's like literally just one that I just wire wrapped individually, but it's not on the shop. So yeah, there's a few items there. Cool. All right, team. Last call on anybody who would like to be able to receive an on-air reading through contributing on PayPal or Patreon. We'll just hang out here for a couple more minutes, and otherwise we'll get close to wrapping it up. And then I'll see you guys later today at 4 p.m. EDT for shooting the shift. Lauren's going to be joining us on air today, so I'm looking forward to that. And I'll just double check things here. Thank you again, everyone, so much for joining in. So anybody else who would like to be able to either contribute on PayPal, join on Patreon, update your Patreon, or again be able to yeah, well, I guess those are the options. Feel free to do that for an on-air reading. And thank you again. We're currently at 107 on Patreon, meaning we're almost at our next mini milestone of 111, and then from there our next milestone will be 122, and working up towards 200. And again, my goal there, like me showing up here, it's for the team, it's for the community, and then it's also again being able to help like raise funds and support for the babies still to come. So being able to like hustle here on the Patreon, straight up, like a big thing for me and Lacey right now, it's like we want to get a car, so we're like saving up to be able to like lease a car each month. So we're hoping by October. So like us hustling here and you guys adding your support there makes it totally possible. And again, it just also helps bring back more support into the community. It helps me focus a lot on being able to help give you guys so much content and value. So thank you again. And the Dream Discussion Circle, if you guys didn't check out that, Patreon members, the recording for that's online. Sierra, let me know if you get a chance to listen to the recording of the Dream Circle, because I think you would appreciate it as well. I'm sure a lot of everybody here would appreciate it. There's some really cool stories there that Lacey shared, plus everybody else. Like Christine was on it, Lauren was on it, Kristen was on it, and Candace was on it as well, and myself and Lacey. But yeah, the next Dream Circle is September 25th and 11 a.m. EDT, and again, that's for our members. So lots of cool things there for the Patreon supporters. So Metatron, turn to the same NPC glitch. The guy was not on the Bliss. I see I sent you the part. Yeah. Did you send that? Okay, I'll have to check it out. So cool. All right, team, last call, and anybody who would like to be able to contribute on PayPal or Patreon, go ahead and do that real quick. Again, PayPal and Patreon links are in my profile in the info for this video, and we'll be back here again. I'll be back here again tomorrow at 11 a.m. EDT. And if you guys know people that you would like to be able to invite into the community, please feel free. If you guys are, again, thinking of signing up for the Patreon, feel free to direct message me if you have any questions. And feel free to, yeah, even if you're like curious to check out the Dream discussion from last night. Thank you, Trevor. Thank you so much for the well wishes on the upcoming baby, the Star Child. For anybody here, if you guys would like to be able to see the recording of the Dream Discussion Circle, just send me a direct message. I can send you the recording, and then like future ones, again, we'll just keep it so like they're member only and stuff. But right now, if people are just like, oh, I'm interested, let me know. I'll send you the recording. It's not a big deal. And then if anything, it will give you a feel for what the Dream Circle is like, and help inspire you to be able to join in to the Dream Circle onto the Patreon for future ones. Carly, the Dream Circle is really good if you get a chance to listen to it. And there's an MP3 of it too, so you guys can like listen to it while like doing dishes and stuff. But it was pretty cool. So cool. All right, team. Last call on anybody who would like to contribute on PayPal or Patreon. I'm gonna get close to wrapping things up here and go take care of Lacey. Lacey's in the other room right now. So awesome. It's always fun hanging out with you guys. Again, even when we do these readings, like I receive a lot out of it. I'm, as much as I'm facilitating, I'm also here to receive with you guys. So thank you again for holding space together as a team. So Jedi, are you gonna be, I'm gonna be a dad after that day, next day, May girl say she's free. Dude, Jedi, if you're gonna be a dad as well, then dude, congratulations as well, or receiving blessings as well. Oh, I was gonna say, you guys, I mentioned before, I'm like inviting you guys to guess what day the baby's gonna be born. So the baby right now, its due date is March 31st, but what's the day after March 31st? April 1st. So the baby might be born on April Fool's Day, which to me, I'm just like, oh, that's actually kind of cool. If the baby's born on April Fool's Day, I think that would be like pretty awesome. I know it's kind of like weird, but I'm like, dude, like that's like the cosmic fool, like the fool archetype. Like that's like basically the magician archetype. I'm like, whoa, that's pretty epic. So if you guys think the baby's gonna be born on March on April 1st, feel free to place your bets. So cool. All right, team. I am going to wrap up this broadcast. If you guys want to reach out to me for individual readings, or if you have any questions about the Patreon, please go ahead and do that. Again, the Patreon membership, that's where you can connect further with our team of conscious media creators. We've got some awesome upcoming events. Hey, Mystic, thank you for joining in. And again, the link for that's in my info for this video, as well as in my profile link on Instagram and TikTok. For our creators this week, we have our Conscious Creator Collaborative Circle. So again, if you are a creator and you're looking to connect with other creators, or maybe you're just getting started as a creator, we create the community to be able to facilitate the space for that. And you guys get to collaborate and promote your stuff and everything like that. This Tuesday, we have our Conscious Creator Collaborative Circle, 4 p.m. EDT. And then Thursday, we have a Conscious Creator Soul Party at 8 p.m. EDT in the evening. So join in for that. And again, you'll also be able to access me for ongoing conscious media creation coaching. And if you sign up at the $33 level, then you can also have additional one-on-one meetings with me as well. So yes. Oh, thank you, Mystic. I'm glad you liked the brainwash video. Yeah, that was a fun one. So I'll keep things open here. Just last call. Like if anybody else did want to be able to get an on-air reading for themselves and the team, go ahead and contribute on PayPal or Patreon real quick. PayPal takes like 2 seconds. Patreon takes like a minute. And then we can decide if we're ready to wrap it up. Like I'm okay doing one more reading. It's just really opening the door to be able to see if anybody else would like to be able to do one as well. And thank you again to our recent Patreon supporters. Thank you to Kristen. Thank you to Kayla. Thank you to Christine. Thank you to MLG, and thank you to Sunny, and thank you to everyone else. So again, if you're tuned in right now, if you're looking to connect with a team of conscious creators, definitely check out the Patreon membership there. Help us reach our next goal on Patreon, 111. We're currently at 107 right now. And that number is going to keep going up. We're working our way to 200. And your support there helps unlock lots of beautiful things for myself and Lacey and the baby and the community as well. And again, sign up for the Patreon in a way where, like, I want you guys to do it where you're just like, fuck yes. Like, I want you to do it for yourself. I want you to sign up in a way where you're just like, yes, this feels awesome. So lots of awesome people there to be able to connect with. Beautiful. All right, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom. I'll come back, and if there is any new Patreon sign up, then we'll keep an eye for it, and otherwise we'll basically be ready to be able to wrap things up. And I'm gonna go work on some stuff for the team as well. So last call on any Patreon or PayPal contributions. Go ahead and sign up for that real quick if you guys would like to be able to receive a reading on air. And again, join as a member, Patreon member in the community, or if any of the leading members already signed up, want to be able to upgrade your Patreon, you guys can do that as well real quick too. And I would definitely encourage you guys to check out the 33, again, pending your budget, whatever works for you, but the $33 one is the best value. And again, that gives you the Light Guardian crystal there. So choo 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 choo. Yes, the cosmic jester. Leave it up to me to have a kid that's like literally like the wizard, mage, like magician, cosmic jester archetype. So man, NFT, I have not tapped into NFT yet. I don't know if I have the attention to be able to put in stuff to figure it out NFT. So focus, follow one course until successful. First goal, build the Patreon. Then after that, maybe NFT. Guys, I'll be right back. I'm just going to use the bathroom. And if we come back and there's any new signups, we'll do at least one more reading. So thank you guys for fueling this broadcast. Thank you again to our supporters on all networks. And yeah, we'll be right back, and we'll decide after that if we're wrapping it up, or we might do one more. So you guys can help decide. All right, thank you guys again for your support. Love you guys. Be right back. Okay. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for still hanging out. Cool. Yeah, we still got 3 people tuned in on Instagram or on YouTube right now. So cool. All right, team. We're gonna wrap up this broadcast. No new signups on the PayPal and Patreon at this moment, which is totally cool. Always more opportunities to be able to dive deeper into these readings. Sometimes I'm live on air in the evening. That really just kind of depends on the schedule. And Kristen, thank you again for signing up onto the Patreon as well. And yes, I'll message you, or you can message me, and we'll figure out the shipping for the Light Guardian crystals. So beautiful. All right. Okay, team. Wrapping up this broadcast, we got more work to be able to do. Sending you guys so much love, and thank you so much again for being a part of this community. Connect to the Discord if you haven't already yet. I'm doing some upgrades there, so stay tuned, but we're getting things kind of refined and evolved there. And again, feel free to check out the Patreon and cool. I'm just reading Metatron. I'm just reading yours. Yeah, man, NFT, I'll look into it a little bit more, but right now I just gotta focus on a couple things at a time. So cool. All right, team. I love you guys so much. Thank you again for being here. Check out the Patreon when you get a chance if you're interested, and hopefully you'll be able to join us for our upcoming member events. The Conscious Creator Collaborative Circle, the Conscious Creator Soul Party this Thursday, meet and greet, and upcoming dream classes and lots more. So if you guys have any questions, just send me a direct message on Instagram and we will keep the party going. So thank you so much, and hopefully you can join us again for more Inspirational Team Tarot Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. EDT. So concluding this broadcast now. I'll talk to you guys later. Mystic Spider-Man signing off. Have a great day. Much love. Pew. Pew, 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 pew. Talk to you guys later.